Hello everyone, back again with another video. It's such a nice sunny Sunday afternoon here in Scotland for once, and I'm drinking my coffee, and I thought it would be so fun to just sit down and tell you about all my favourite books and why they're my favourite books. Obviously I'm still pretty new to doing these videos, so hopefully this can give you guys a bit of an idea of the kind of books I like, and you can let me know if any of these are your favourites as well. And I'll try not to go on too long because I know I could talk about my favourite books for the rest of my entire life. So yeah, well, I'm so excited, let's get into it. Okay, I have my big top 5 books to talk about, but first I want to talk about some YA fun series that are my all-time favourites. I only have these on my Kindle, but I would love to get some nice copies of them for my shelves at some point. So I'm going to talk about 2 series, the first of which is part of the Shadowhunters by Cassandra Clare, and my favourite series in that universe is the Infernal Devices. This is the first book, Clockwork Angel. There's also Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess. There's just something special about these. I think everyone kind of knows about the Mortal Instruments at this point for some different reasons, but these are the ancestors of the families that we learn about in Mortal Instruments, and it's in Victorian times, and there's it's kind of a steampunky vibe, and I just absolutely love it. I really find comfort in all the Shadowhunters series. I love that universe. I read Infernal Devices first just because I happened to pick the first book up when I was in primary school, and I ended up reading all the rest of those, all the Mortal Instruments books, and just absolutely loving them. And then I think 2024 I reread all of those and then read all the ones that had come out since, and I think it was about 20 books, and honestly I had the absolute time of my life doing it. It was so fun. All the stories are interconnected in a way, they're all the same universe obviously, and the families go through to the modern day, and there's some that are direct next generation to the Infernal Devices. Just so much fun. I could just read those books over and over again. They really do just have all my favourite things. I think my favourite ever trope is found family, because when I look at all my favourite TV shows and books and stuff like that, so many of them are found family, and these definitely have that. And also you kind of stick with the same families all through, so you kind of see what happens to everyone, and I love that. There's such strong friendships, and you've got magic, vampires, werewolves, demons, everything, all that stuff. I love that. I always loved that kind of stuff when I was a kid as well, so it's so fun that they've been all through my life, and there's still more to come. I'm going to be about 40 by the time all these books are out, and I'm so happy about that, and I will be reading every single one of them. It's so fun as well having these on my Kindle. I can see things that I highlighted when I was younger reading them, and just the stuff that I highlighted when I was 13 is so funny. I think I'd highlighted every single mention of Magnus and Alec as a couple, was obsessed with them. Should have been a sign. But yeah, out of all of them, I think Infernal Devices is definitely my favourite. There's just something special about the setting and the relationships, the different types of people, the way it was my first introduction to the world as well, so that's probably got an impact. But yeah, definitely my favourite trilogy of the Shadowhunters universe, and that last book, oh my god, I think every time I read it I cry more. It's so good. And even if you're adult like me, you should read them. They're really fun. You can trust me. Okay, the second YA series to talk about I think is quite a popular one with people. I think this is a lot of people's favourite, and it is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. You can't really see it. Yeah, you can. I love Six of Crows. I think anyone who's read Six of Crows loves Six of Crows. It's so good. It's so fun, so emotional. There's so much adventure in it, and oh my god, talk about found family. That is the found family book. They are the found family of all time. I had read this originally because I'd seen that the Shadow and Bone TV series was coming out. It was being advertised and I was like, I'm quite interested, I'm going to read the books. So I read the Shadow and Bone trilogy and I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. And then I went on to Six of Crows and I was like, whoa, blew my mind. Way better than Shadow and Bone trilogy, sorry, to Shadow and Bone. I'm so glad I read that one first, because if I'd read it after these, I would have been like, this is rubbish. Sorry. But the Six of Crows is just so much better. There's something about a group of outcasts coming together to go on a mission, and they don't like each other that much, but then they end up becoming a family. I could read that format for every book ever. It's so fun. I absolutely love it. I think another thing about this duology is it's YA, but there's a real like darkness to it. The characters have really been through a lot. We learn a lot about their pasts, the things they've been through, their relationships with each other are really explored, and you really care about what happens to them, and they really care about what happens to each other, and it's really easy to get so invested in the story. And this is another one I've reread, which I reread now and again, but not everything. So when I reread something and I feel like it's just as good as the first time, I'm like, that's how I know this is an old timer. And I really always am recommending Six of Crows to people. I think you can't read it and not be absolutely swept up in it. It's so good and so fun. Again, I only have these on my Kindle right now, but I do want some nice copies of these for my shelf. And I will at some point. I actually have some more Grishaverse novels on my Kindle that I haven't actually read. I downloaded the King of Scars duology, and I think it's about Zoya and the prince, but I haven't actually read it. If anyone else has read it, let me know if it's worth it, if I should read it, because I have it on there and I'm interested, but I think after reading Six of Crows I was like, none of the rest are going to be as good. But yeah, if you've read that one, please let me know if I should give it a chance. Okay, now time to go into what I would say are my top 5 books at the moment. This does change and will change because I'm reading more all the time and finding books that I absolutely love. There were some that I considered and I was like, no, just stick to these 5. But yeah, this will definitely change at some point in my life. Okay, the first book that I will talk about for this is Penance by Eliza Clark. This book is really horrible. It's really dark. Definitely check any triggers or anything like that if you are thinking of reading this, because it does get very dark. It is written as if it's a true crime, but it's fictional. And it's about a murder in a seaside town. And there was something so addictive about reading it. I just was absolutely hooked on it, and I think about it all the time. There's something relatable in it. I think the people in the book are like my generation. They're talking about being on Tumblr and stuff like that, which I definitely was. And you can just kind of see, I could kind of see myself in it in a way, which I found so interesting to read. Like, I could tell it was written by someone from my kind of demographic, if that makes sense. So I really like that about reading it. And also it has some different formats, which I always really enjoy. I love a book that kind of jumps between like interviews or like articles or things like that. Absolutely love that. And that has this because it's written like true crime. So it has bits that it says are from podcasts, it has bits that it says are from emails, Tumblr posts, interviews, things like that. I really like reading books that have that. And I feel like it feels a lot shorter than it is. Like, you can really just zoom through it. I really like this book, but yeah, just watch because it is really dark. That's what I would say. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but really a great book. I really feel like it changed my brain. I would love to reread it at some point. It's been a while since I read it. I've read Eliza Clark's other books, and this is definitely my favourite of the 3. Although I really like She's Always Hungry as well, the short story one. I did, at boy parts, I just think was a bit much for me. Like, this one's horrible too, but there's something different. Like, I just enjoyed this one a lot more. So yeah, Penance by Eliza Clark. First one. Okay, next up, This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amelia Mozart and Max Gladstone. I absolutely love this book. I've read it a couple of times as well, and I actually feel like it's so good for a reread, because once you know the ending, you can go back to the start and read it in a completely different way, which I love when a book has that. It was so fun. And I actually went to a Waterstones event recently where Amelia Mozart was there talking about her new book, Seasons of Glass and Iron, and she was talking about the writing process for this with Max Gladstone, and you could tell that she really loves this book, and she was really cool, and I really enjoyed that event. So that was really fun. I know a lot of people are put off because when you start this book, you're like, what is happening? It is very confusing at the start, but you're supposed to be confused. You're not supposed to know what's happening. So honestly, just keep going. It is worth it in the end. This book is about two agents who are on opposite sides of this war, and they kind of jump through time and space, and they're trying to change things for their side so that their side can win this war. They are rivals. They're not supposed to talk to each other, but they start leaving messages for each other at these different places through space and time and getting to know each other. And it's just such an interesting, like, stunning story. I don't know how this was thought up in someone's brain, because it's just so unique and stunning. And as I say, when you read it for the second time, you get a completely new story from it, a new perspective of it, and I think that's amazing. It's all written in the letters back and forth between these two, and yeah, I would recommend this to anyone. It's just so amazing. Even if you're not a sci-fi person, I don't think you need to be to get out of this book what it wants you to get out of it. It is so great, and I would recommend it to anyone. It's not too long either. I know that this is one of a lot of people's favourites. A lot of people have read this, but if you haven't yet, I would absolutely recommend picking it up. It's so good. Okay, the next book is actually a book that I only read for the first time this year, and it went right into my favourites. I have not stopped talking about it, recommending it to people. I absolutely adored this book, and that is Heap, Earth Upon It by Chloe Michelle Howarth. This book just blew me away. I absolutely loved it. I went to the launch event for this with Chloe Michelle Howarth at Waterstones, of course, and she did a wee reading from it, and that was amazing. And she signed my book, which was also so cool. I'd read Sunburn, and I'd really liked it. That's why I went to this event. But this one, it is so good. Every single page, there was something on it that I was like, I love that. The writing is so great, and the story is amazing as well. It's about 4 siblings in rural Ireland in the 1960s, and we know that something has happened that has meant they've had to leave their town and go to a new town, but we don't know what. They're by themselves, they're all a little bit strange, and we're going through what they're thinking, what has happened, why are we here, what are they doing? And we get some perspective from a woman who they meet who lives in the town as well, which kind of gives them that outside look into the 4 of them, which really makes the book, I think, because you kind of have some unreliable narrator stuff going on within the siblings, so getting that outside perspective was really great. As I say, the writing is amazing, and it's definitely a weird vibe. Everything starts off like you know something's wrong, and as it goes on, it just gets odder and odder until you're like, whoa, this is an absolute mess. And I absolutely loved it. If you are interested in weird girl kind of books, queer books, Irish literature, historical fiction, anything like that, I would recommend this to literally anyone. I think it is really such a stunning book. And I saw the other day that Chloe Michelle Howarth has a new one coming out next year, and I am so excited. I will be snapping that up immediately because I love her writing. I'll read anything that she brings out. This is my absolute favourite. I love it, and you should read it. Okay, up next we have a non-fiction, which is crazy because I really struggle with non-fiction. I really, as a goal this year, I want to try and read a bit more non-fiction because I've struggled to get into it, to be honest. I think there's been 2 or 3 non-fiction books that I've felt like I really enjoyed, really appreciated. A lot of the time I just really struggle to get into them, and I'm a fast reader with fiction, but with non-fiction I feel like it takes me forever. But this book is one of my all-time favourite books, obviously, and it is Strong Female Character by Fern Brady. Fern Brady is a Scottish comedian, and she was diagnosed with autism later in life, and this is just about her growing up, not knowing, her life, finding that out, and just her experience. And this came out when I was going through a later in life neurodivergence diagnosis as well. I feel like it just found me right at the right time. I read it all in one sitting and it just really struck a chord with me, and I think about it all the time. I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. And a lot of people who read this book, maybe that are neurotypical, if that's not an assumption to make, talk about how it's really funny. There are funny bits, but I really just found it like emotional. Like it really hit home to me, and I just really appreciated it. And I think it really kind of helped me like look back on my life and see things differently and accept things that I hadn't really thought about before, which is crazy. And I went to an event where it wasn't for Fern Brady, but she was hosting the Q&A, and she signed this for me, and I got to tell her that I really appreciated the book and it really helped me, and she was really nice, and she said she was really glad to hear that, and I was glad that I got to say that to her. Yeah, I really enjoy this book. I think anyone could read it and really enjoy it. But yeah, it just really found me at the right time. I think Fern Brady has a fiction book coming out this year or next year, and I'll definitely be reading that as well because I think she's a good writer and she's really funny. I was a fan of her before, even more after I read this book. She was on Taskmaster and she was so good on Taskmaster as well, and she was so lovely when I met her. So tick tick tick, I'm a really big fan of Fern Brady and adore this book. It's a big one for me and I just love it. Okay, last but not least, this is always my answer if someone says what's your favourite book. If I had to say one favourite book, this is what I always say. And it has been since I first read it, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I wonder if anyone could have guessed it. That would have been fun to see if anyone could have guessed. If you could have guessed, let me know down below. This is another one that I only had on my Kindle, and then my friend got me this cool big anniversary edition a couple of years ago for my birthday because it's my favourite. Yeah, I would take this book to a desert island because it's massive. You could read it, and I feel like it's one of those books, so much happens and it's so interestingly told that you kind of can get something new out of it every time you read it. There's something that you notice that maybe you didn't notice last time. Well, in my opinion anyway. I think I've read this maybe 3 times and I just love it. It just has everything. It's so weird. It has just like a group of such weird people, and it has one of the best unreliable narrators ever. Like, no spoilers, but the book is narrated by the main character and we know that he's lying to everybody. Like, we can see it. He is lying to everyone. So you're like, well, how much of what you're saying here is even the truth? So that also gives an element of every time you read it, you see something and you're like, maybe that's not actually true. I think, like, the way he interacts with some of the characters and stuff, you're like, it's so interesting. I think the relationships between all the characters and the unreliable narrator, what I enjoy about this the most. I find it so interesting and so strange, and I just absolutely love it. yeah, I just love it. There's so many books as well that are like, oh, this is the secret history but Shakespeare, this is the secret history but Scotland. I think I have one that's secret history but it's in Scotland. I haven't read it. But there's so many books that are the secret history with a wee bit of a difference. And I think that just shows you kind of the impact that this book had. It's just amazing. It's a classic to me. And I absolutely love it, love it, love it. Could read it forever. The book is about the main character Richard is from like a working class background, but he gets into this really prestigious university and then manages to get into this tiny elite group that's learning Greek with this kind of like eccentric professor, and they're all really, really weird. And we find out right at the literal very first sentence, one of the people is dead. And kind of like, what happened? What is the deal with all these people? Yeah, it's kind of like a look inside this really strange group of students. And it's really as simple as that, but the way it's written and told is so, so interesting, so compelling, and like weird and like mysterious. I just absolutely love this book. It's so, so good. My mum had told me to read this book because when it first came out, her dad had told her to read it. So it's kind of been recommended through the generations, and I'm so glad because it's so, so great. A perfect book to me. Could read it forever. Absolutely love it. I think loads of people have already read this or have it on their TBR, but if you haven't already, I would definitely recommend it. Okay, that is my favourite books list complete. I don't actually know if anything that I've said made sense, so it'll be really fun to go back through this and see if it even makes any sense what I've been saying. I feel like I've just been opening my mouth and letting the words come out. I love reading and books so, so, so much. These are my favourites right now, but I know that there'll be more in my future that are going to go right into my favourites, and that makes me so, so excited. To know that there's so many more great books out there for me to discover still just fills me with so much joy, but also does nothing for my growing TBR because it means I just want to read everything. But you know, that's okay. It's knowledge. But it also costs money. Please let me know down below if any of these are your favourites, or if any of them are on your TBR, or if you have seen these books that I like and you have recommendations for me. I would love that so, so, so much. So please comment down below anything like that. I would love to talk to you guys about it. As always, if you want to see some more stuff from me, go follow me on Instagram. It's iona.library on Instagram as well. And I'm still doing the spinning wheel for my TBR. I just really need to finish Assassin's Apprentice. I'm so close to finishing it. I think I have like 110 pages left. And I'm hoping I'm just going to do that today. It's a nice day. I can sit in the garden. I'm just going to finish it. I just need to finish it. And then I'll be back with another reel / TikTok / short for that, for my little review. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. I'm also working on a little summer wheel with books I would want to read this summer, to narrow down my selection a little bit and get some of those read. And also I am working on a video where I get recs from my friends and family and read them and review them for a video on here, so that will hopefully be coming soon because the recs are rolling in. I've got some books being lent to me already, so I'm really excited to get started on those, and read some different things a little bit out of my comfort zone, so that will be really fun too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!